Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Dan Greer with Leading from the Middle of the Pack, and today we're going to be talking all about, what should we talk about? We've talked about a lot of stuff on this podcast so far. We've talked about hiring, employment, and I've been jumping around, so I'm a little out of breath. And we just talked about how to serve your tribe better and how to give yourself a raise. And man, we've talked about a lot of stuff. You know what we should talk about today? You know what we're going to talk about? I believe in the practice of document, don't create. And so today, we're going to talk a little bit about live events and why you should have one and why they're so awesome and what it takes to make them happen and how to actually be successful at them. So, cue up theme song. We'll be right back after I catch my breath. Later.
The big question is this: how are leaders like us, who aren't necessarily in a management position, who go out and get our hands dirty, who are ready to answer their calling from God to lead, who are driven to learn and grow, gain the trust and respect of those around us, to actually be heard while not coming across as an authoritative prick? These are the questions, and this is the podcast that will give you the answers. Hi, my name is Dan Greer, and welcome to Leading from the Middle of the Pack.
Sweet! So glad you guys are still here. Well, today we're going to be talking all about live events and what it takes to make them happen and how my mind kind of works with them and what I've done to figure out how to do live events and who I want to mirror and what in the atmosphere I want to create and that kind of stuff. So the first thing when you're ready to do a live event that you got to do is you got to think about, okay, how do I serve my tribe? What does my tribe need? What does my tribe want? How do I set myself apart from everybody else? It's we've been going to live events for a while, right? You know me, I've been going to live events forever. I've been to Tony Robbins, I've been to Russell Brunson, I've been to Dean Graziosi, I've been to Mid-American Truck Show, CVSA, the Commercial Vehicle Safety Alliance, multiple times. And I've been to a lot of different shows. Some local shows, some shows, they're live events. I call them shows, right? Some local shows, some far off shows, some big shows, some little shows. I've been to all of them. And what I found is right now, personally for me, there's this sweet spot. Tony Robbins' sweet spot is 15,000 people. I'd love to be where that's my sweet spot. But I think that right now my sweet spot is 500 people-ish. And we're getting ready to that's kind of expanding my boundaries a little bit for what we're doing because of the live event we got coming up this year that we're going to do in Charlotte is this, we're calling it, Unleash the Power Fueled by Docs. It's unleashing the power from within inside of you that's going to allow you to grow. And we're going to go over some DOT stuff. We're going to go over some fleet stuff. We're going to go over some leadership stuff. We're going to go over some making your life easier stuff. We're going to have this ability to get back to charity for what we're looking at and kind of what we're creating. And we're just going to have a lot of fun with it. Right. And so as we look at some of these live events, we've also got the Unlock the Secrets of DOT, which are coming up, which is a new series we're going to be going nationwide with. We're going to be picking different areas every month. We're going to go to 12 different areas. Not every month, throughout the year. We're going to go to 12 different areas throughout the next year. And we're going to do 1 to 4 day programs. So they're all going to be 1 day programs, but we might be in different areas. So if we go to let's say the Phoenix area, we might do Scottsdale and Deer Valley, and then a couple on the south side of town. And so we're talking about doing a different hotel, a different area for 4 days in a row, trying to get people in those areas to that where there's a little bit more condensed, but we're not trying to go to downtowns. Our first one is in Provo, Utah, which we're super excited about. And it's July 14th. And we're doing it at the Residence Inn in Marion, Provo. And so if you're excited to go to a live event, you want to see the first one ever and how bad it is, then you're going to want to show up. I'm kidding. It's not going to be bad. It's going to be absolutely awesome. But it's our first Unlock the Secrets event. And so there's going to be a lot that goes into this to learning it. And it's going to take us time to do stuff to get it figured out. But our goal is to do these and eventually get to where we can take the show online and make it work really good, but we've got to get in front of people so I can see how people react and how what they don't like and what they do like and how they, get out of the, what takes them out, what makes them want to leave, what makes them want to stay, what gets them excited, what doesn't get them excited, because I want to just keep people excited the whole time. And I don't want to do a 1 day event that I've never done in front of anybody before online and people just start dropping off and we go from 5,000 people to 5 people by the end of the event. That's not what I want. And so I want to be able to keep people engaged and enthralled. And that's part of why we're doing it in person, because I'm very much a people person. I very much love people. in general, and I love watching them, and I love like seeing what's going on. So, anyways, is we get back on track here. I have this tendency to derail myself and go off on side roads a lot. So forgive me for that, for getting on dirt roads whenever I do. But let's jump back on the highway and we'll keep moving forward with what we're talking about. So today we're going to be talking all about like live events. And I'll be honest with you, like I've been studying live events forever. Like I told you, I've been to all these different live events, and I've seen what I really love and I've seen what I really don't like. And what I love is the atmosphere, okay? What I don't like is the trade show style of a live event. So I was at one not too long ago. It was a really, really big one, like 55, 60,000 people came through this event this year alone. Okay, so it was crazy. And what I saw at the event was like there was 5, 6 buildings full of booths. And there's so much to see, you couldn't see it all, which is overwhelmingly awesome. But it also sucks because they had no good speakers come up. They didn't have any lineup for anything like that that people could go to. They didn't sell tickets for any of that. They had a concert. Like, I get that you want a concert. I get that. I get that you can sell tickets to that concert, but is that really like what I want in a live event? And the answer to that is no. I don't want a bunch of vendors for people to go around and see. I want the event to sell, to empower people. I want it to engage them. I want them to be excited and like ready to go and pump them up, because I want them to come to these events and be like, oh yeah, we know a lot. Oh, we're going to go get this going. And I want to like pump people up and get them all excited, because that's what live events should be. They should be getting you excited to go forward and to move on to that next step in your journey. Okay. To take that next step to make it happen. Okay, that's what a live event should do. It should make you feel empowered enough to do that. It should give you the tools to get that done, and then it should give you the techniques as well, or the ability that you can step up and move forward. If should you so choose, right? It's your choice. It's always your choice whether you step up. So I've been like watching a ton of live events, and I'll tell you the live events I love the most so far are like Russell Brunson's live events. This dude, he needs to like do coaching on live events. Period. I'm not talking about like the demographics of getting them started and getting them set up and getting people in and all this other stuff. Like that's not what I'm talking. Like that's part of what he should do coaching on. But he needs to do coaching on the choreographing of the actual live event, of how to do it, how to make it happen, how to go from step A, B, C, D, E. Like he needs to lay this out. So the dude has done some awesome books. I'm sure he won't do this, but I would love for him to write a book and do a program on live events and how to make them happen, and how to like the whole, man, I would just love to like pick his brain on live events for a week or a day, just because I could get so much out of him in an hour, out of what he's done, because he's done it for so long and he does such a great job. And I know that a lot of it isn't necessarily him, right? He has a team that does it now. But my point is like, when you go into one of his events, the atmosphere changes as soon as you hit that room. And the atmosphere actually changes in the hotel. It's unreal. Like I've never been to an event where the atmosphere is different in the lobby when you get there. And I'm not talking like down, like there's excitement, there's stuff going on, and he's just got it figured out. The way he does everything, it works out really, really well for getting people, for building hype to get them in there, to make them feel like they have to stay there all day long, right? Instead of leaving in the middle. Sorry, coffee brought to you by Dan Greer. Anyways, my point here is like, when you go to live events, you have to figure out what you want to bring, what type of atmosphere you want to bring to your live event. If you love the trade shows, then you're called to put on trade shows if you want to do live events. And that's 100% good. There's no problems with that. Me personally, I'm called to educate and liberate. Like I'm called to educate people and liberate them to move forward. Like it's not a coined phrase, right? But that's what we want to do. We want to empower them, educate and empower. But we want to empower people. We want to give them the knowledge they need to do something, and then we want to empower them to go do it and give them the tools and the tactics that they need to get it done. And so that's what live events for me are all about, right? Does that make sense? So that's how I'm going to serve our tribe through our live events. Is I'm going to educate them. I'm going to give them tons of knowledge, tons and tons and tons of knowledge. They're going to take notebooks full of notes, okay? But then in the end, we're also going to empower them. We're going to enable them to have what they need in order to move forward. Does that make sense? You guys getting this? Isn't it exciting? Right? Like, Who wants to go to one of Dan's live events? Well, I'm going to tell you, we're going to be doing these Unlock the Secrets events all over, and they're going to be small scales. But the one you really want to come to is the Docs annual event in Charlotte in October. We're getting all the details ironed out right now. Should have them ironed out in like a month, okay? And then we're going to be like, boom, pushing people to it, okay? All from here until there, we're going to like push people to it. It's going to be super awesome. I'm super excited for this, like super, super excited. Can't tell you how excited I am for this Charlotte event because, oh my God, 500 people, all like fleet TOT operations people in the room. How cool is that going to be, right? And then next year it's going to be 1,000. The next year it's going to be 2,000. The next year it's going to be 5,000, right? So like in 3 years, I want 5,000 people there. How awesome is that going to be? We're not always going to do it in Charlotte. So like if you're like, oh man, it'd be super cool if we did this in the fall here, then let's do it. Like as long as I got a hotel big enough for our group. You know, like that's my goal. I want to be like Tony Robbins and have to go to a convention center, not a hotel, but a convention center that has everything that we need in order to get everybody in their room. Like I would not be able to do it at a hotel because there's not enough space type of thing. That's where I want to be. But anyways, I digress. My point is that like whenever you do live events, you got to figure out kind of what you want, what kind of atmosphere you want to bring. And then you've got to build that atmosphere up and you got to build that hype up and you got to make sure that you bring that atmosphere with it. And there's a lot of different ways to do that. Okay. But one of the things that I do is before I start doing live events is as you can see, I actually do logos for each of my live events. So this is Unlock the Secrets of DOT. We got a grunged up old lock there with like a .doc symbol in the middle of it. And you may not be able to see the .doc symbol. But then we've got, the grunged up Unlock the Secrets of DOT. Never coin anything from somebody else. Like don't steal anything. So Russell Brunson does the Unlock the Secrets events. That's a family event that he does. And I've actually been to it and it's super awesome. But I was like, man, I really like Unlock the Secrets, but I don't want to just like use Unlock the Secret, right? Like Unlock the Secrets. I don't want that. I want something that's unique to us. And so we can do like Unlock the Secrets of DOT, Unlock the Secrets of Fleet, Unlock the Secrets of Leadership, Unlock the Secrets of Advertising, Unlock the Secrets of blah, 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 blah. Like this is going to be one of our coined phrases is Unlock the Secrets of blank. And we're going to do events like that nationwide as our business grows. Unlock the secrets of software building. Unlock the secrets of building your own podcast. Unlock the secrets of this. And we can build courses around it. We have so much fun with that, right? So like, that's one of the things that we're working on. So don't steal it from me. I'm going to be upset if you steal it from me. But anyways, my point here is like, we're just trying to, you've got to figure out what you want in a live event, what you want your people experience, you want your people to have. Right? How do you want to do this? Do you want to have a special option where you can be more intimate with certain people and do like a VIP experience where you get dinner with them or a couple nights or a day before to hang out with them a little bit? Like, how do you want this to happen? How do you want it to be? What do you want it to do? Are you going to videograph it? Are you going to like capture all the footage? Are you going to own all the B-roll? Or how are you going to use that footage? Like, are you going to have photographers coming in and taking a ton of pictures? Are you going to have somebody videoing the whole thing? Are you going to do it online? Are you going to do it in person? Like, all this stuff are things that you've got to answer. So the first thing you got to do, okay, when you're going to do a live event, okay, let's break this down. Boom, are you guys ready? Get your notes out. You're going to do a live event. You got to figure out what kind of live event I want to do. Do I want to do a trade show? Do I want to do a rock show? Do I want to empower people? Do I want to inspire people? Do I want to educate people? Do I want to sell stuff? Do I want to have other people sell stuff? Do I want to make money off of them having booths? Right? Do I just want to empower people to move forward and have fun with it? Right? Like I was in an event the other day with somebody and he goes, my only thing with this entire event is I want to inspire young people to get into vehicles. And it was a truck show. And I was like, Jason, that's really awesome. Okay. I love that. How can I help? What can I do to join in? Because I've got some of the same visions, right? He's like, well, you can help us with advertising. Perfect. I will totally help you get the word out for this next year. When you do it, you just got to like include me in on this. And that way I can be, there and we can team up together and partner up and we'll co-host this live event because I can see us doing that like nationwide in small towns. It's like co-hosting truck shows in small towns for antique or regular trucks and doing like small town truck shows where you get 40 or 50 trucks there and 20 or 30 older vehicles there and boom, there's your show, right? And it's a lot of fun. We give away some free stuff and it's super awesome and we let people in and we do whatever, you know what I mean? So there's a lot that goes with that. Okay. And so I was like, boom, how can I help? But he knows what kind of show he wants. He has a mission for his show. Okay. So the first thing is figure out what kind of show you want. What's your purpose of the show? Okay. Our purpose of this one is to get the word out about .docs, DOTDOCS.com. And it's also to educate people about DOT. And by educating them, we can get the word out about .docs. And that's what I found. That's what I've done. That's how it works. I know that it's going to work. I know that it's going to be great. right? Our Unleash the Power event, fueled by Dot Docs, is going to be all about educating, empowering people who probably already use Dot Docs, but maybe not, right? But they want to grow in DOT. So we're after DOT professionals, fleet people, leaders, HR, small companies, right? We're not after the people with thousands of employees. We're after the people with tens of employees, or fives of employees, or hundreds of employees. You know what I mean? Like, we're not after the people with tons and tons of people in their company, because they can hire somebody full time, and yeah, that person can totally come in. But our goal is to educate and empower the people who maybe aren't, they don't have a team that big. Now they could totally come. They could totally come if they have a big team. I'm all about it. I love it. I can't wait for people to show up for that. But we're going to do some awesome stuff with it. So, like, we have our mission, we have our goal. So whenever you're going to do live events, you have to have a mission. What's your mission? What's the main goal of this? Why am I doing this? Okay. Now then, the next thing you got to do is be like, okay, why am I doing this? Now then, what kind of show do I want? All right. Okay. Boom, boom. This all lines up. Okay. And the next thing is like, where do I want to do it? And for me, it's what time of year do I want to do it, and then where do I want to do it. So I decided I want a fall event, and I go, okay, fall event. I want where there's colors. So I'm like thinking like back east. Ooh, Smoky Mountains. Oh, okay. So then I started looking at all the places around the Smoky Mountains. Boom. I was like, okay, well, I want mountains. I was like, okay, well, I could go to Utah. I could go to Colorado Springs. I could stay here locally, but the airport's not big enough here. Okay. So now I've got all these different areas that I could go, but I know kind of what I want. Right? And now I'm like, okay, now that I've got to make it easy for people to get into. So I start looking at tickets for me from a little town to get into a big town. And I look at what tickets are going to cost, because my average cost is higher than the average airplane ticket, because I'm not flying out of a big city. I'm flying out of a little town. So I'm like, okay, so if it costs me $1,000 to get there in a plane ticket, that's probably too much. But if it costs me $400 to get there in a plane ticket, I can still go to that. I could justify that. Right? So I'm like, okay, so now I need a town that's big enough that I'm actually going to be able to get people to. I can't go to like Knoxville, Tennessee, because the airport's not big enough to get people there. Even though it's in the heart of the Smoky Mountains, I can't go there this year because it's not a big enough airport. I'm not going to be able to get people to fly there to me to show up. Does that make sense? So now that I'm looking at geographic location, okay, now I know kind of where I want it. I know what I want. I know I want a fall event with mountains and trees and leaves and colors changing and stuff like that. So now that I'm going to go, okay, where can I go? And I'm like, okay, Charlotte, North Carolina has a good one. Okay, where's another one? Boom, boom, boom. And I come with like 5 different areas. The Ozarks, stuff like that. We looked at like Louisiana, all that kind of stuff. But now it's like, okay, where do I go? So now I've got to figure it out. Now I've like designated to a city, and then I start looking for areas within that city. Can I go this time of year? Is it going to be too busy? Can I get hotels? Can I get venues there? So then I start looking at venues in like 3 different areas. And then I go, okay, boom, this works. And what we did this year is we started looking like Rocky Mountain region. I go, oh, the Rocky Mountains are going to work. So boom, now then we pivot somewhere else. And that's how we've, come up with pretty much designated Charlotte, North Carolina is what we're looking at. And so we're looking at getting to Charlotte because it's a big airport. It's cheap. The town is big. There's lots to do. It's at the very top of the Smoky Mountains. You're like literally a 1-hour drive from being in the heart of the Smoky Mountains from Charlotte, North Carolina. You could rent a car on Friday after our event. You could go down there. I could rent a car. I probably will be in the Smoky Mountains when we go. Like, honest to God, probably will go do that myself. Like, you could be like, oh, I'm going to catch Dan in the Smoky Mountains. And so you'd be like, yes, you are, because I'm going to be there. And maybe we'll do some fun as a team for the people who join in. I don't know. Like, I just don't know. But you see what I'm saying? Like, do you see where this is going? Do you see how this works? If you want to do a live event, you can't just go, oh, I'm going to do a live event and throw in. Like, I've done that. It doesn't work. You got to have a purpose. You got a purpose for your live event, why you're doing it, and then you got to have, like, you got to figure it all out as what you're going to do. Then the next thing is, how big do I want to be? How many people do I want there? Do I want to get 5 people there, or 50 people there, or 500 people there, or 5,000, or 50,000? Right? Like, those are numbers you got to think about. How do I do that? Now, here's going to be the hardest part. You guys ready for this? The hardest part is going to be taking that fear that you have of doing this live event and nobody showing up and being like, hey, get back in there. Boom, 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 boom. Right? You got to like beat that fear down, because guess what? That fear bubbles up. And as it bubbles, oh, nobody's going to buy. Oh my God, I ran ads for the first day. Nobody's buying in. Oh, 50 people have hit the landing page, but nobody's buying in. Oh, I need to cancel this. It's too much. And if you don't, it's going to overwhelm you. It's actually going to continue to bubble up until it bubbles over. And then as soon as it bubbles over, you've lost. And then you've got this huge mess to clean up. And the mess to clean up is way, way worse than shoving that fear back down and go, nope, this is going to work. This is going to work. Boom. I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to make it work. I'm going to move forward with this. Right? Do you see what I'm saying? The fear is real. The fear is always going to be real. I've thrown, I don't know how many countless live events, And I still have fear that I'm going to throw an event and nobody's going to show up. And I'm changing what I do to make sure people do show up. But that's my biggest fear. I'm going to spend all this time and money going to North Carolina and nobody's actually going to be there. I'm going to spend all this time doing this Unlock the Secrets series in all these different areas and nobody's going to be there. Nobody's going to show up. Nobody's going to be there. That's my fear. That's my fear. Is it a real fear? Heck yes, it's a real fear. Almost cussed, sorry. Heck yes, it's a real fear. It's 100% real. I've thrown live events that 2 people have showed up to in the past. Or 1 person. I've done a live event that was supposed to have 30 people at it that I didn't charge for, and I had 1 or 2 people show up, and it was very intimate. They got one-on-one Dan time. Could you imagine one-on-one Dan time? Like, they got passion. They got drive. They might have got overwhelmed. But my point is like, you've got to push that fear back down, and you've got to do the right stuff. Now, then the next thing is that I'm going to throw out here is like, after you get everything planned, the last part of this is advertising. You've got to figure out how to let people know about your event. You've got to build hype for it. You've got to do it, right? And if you don't do it, nobody's going to come. You can build a statement. I think that's is it the Field of Dreams? Is that the movie? That's the Field of Dreams where they build this stadium. If you build it, they will come. Bull crap. The only reason people come is because they know about it. If they don't know about it, they can't come. You have to get the word out. You have to get it out. Like, you've got to figure out how to get advertising done, whether it's paid, whether it's free, whatever it is. You've got to figure out how to get advertising done so that you can actually get people to your event. If I have to laugh because I just did this one, and actually I had like one of the events that I was just at. It was a really good event. It was a great event. Turned out to be awesome, but they didn't have near the people that they wanted to have there. Twice as many trucks. They focused on getting the trucks there, not on getting the public there. Right? They didn't do any advertising. They put up some posters in some areas because that's what they know how to do. That's and the great. They did more than what they did the year before, and they had twice as much return or twice as much people show up, but the public didn't show up. The only reason they showed up is because they drove by this little town and they saw it and they're like, oh, hey, let's go check this out. But otherwise they wouldn't have known anything about it. Right? And so I told them, I was like, hey, let me help you with marketing. Next year, let's get started with marketing. Like, let's do it a month beforehand. Let's set it all up. Let's make it happen. And let's, kind of go from there. And they're like, oh my gosh, you would do that? Yes, we would totally do that. That's what happens when we co-sponsor something. It's going to be like this, co-hosted by us, and then we do the marketing. Right? And then they do this, and we get more people driven there, and we can actually turn this into an awesome event. And all we want to do is have our name on the event and maybe make just a little bit of money to break even on our marketing costs. Does that make sense? So like, you find yourself affiliates, find yourself partners who can do what you don't know how to do. If I'm trying to do a live event and I want it to look like a rock show, I need to find somebody who can make it look like a rock show. Because I don't know how to do that. I don't know where to hire the lights. I don't know where to hire anything. Somebody to run it. And my first event's not going to be like that. It's going to be 500 people. It's going to be in a room. It's going to be awesome, but it's still not going to be what it's going to be in 2 years. Like, I'm telling you, you're going to want to show up to Unleash the Power of Fueled by Docs every year from here out, because you're going to be like, oh my gosh, it was awesome. The second year, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, this was amazing. And the third year, you're going to be like, oh my God, this is phenomenal. And the fifth year, you're going to be like, oh, mind blown. Just at the expansion and the growth with it. Like, you're going to be able to see all that stuff. It's going to get better. You're going to want to stick around and come back and back and back and back and back to learn more and more and more about it all the time after time after time. So my point here, I digress, is like, if you want to do a live event, there's certain things you got to do. And let's just get your notebook out. Let's go through this. Let's recap it. If you've been taking notes, that's great. If you're driving, don't get your notebook out. Come back, listen to this when you're not driving, and then get your notebook out. So you got to figure out how you want to serve your audience, right? Who is your audience? How do I want to serve them? What kind of show do I want? What's my purpose of the show, right? Is it to make money? Is it to get more of my name out? Is it to sell more booths to people? Like, do I want to educate the people around me? Do I want to liberate them? Like, what do I want to do? So figure out the purpose of the show. And then the next thing is like, where you want to hold it. Okay. Like, figure out geographic, somewhat area, time of year, geographic location, that kind of stuff. Then find the venue. Okay. Then figure out how many people you want. And then make sure the venue can hold that many people. Because if you're going to do it at a little B&B, it only holds 10 people. You're only going to get 10 people there. But if you want to show for 500 people or 5,000 people, you have to go to different areas, right? So you get, like, all this kind of goes into the where do I want to be at. There's like 3 or 4 things there. Okay. And the next thing is like, what am I going to do during this show, and who can I partner with to get the word out and create this huge ruckus around this event. So everybody is talking about it and you want to just blow it up. You want it to be awesome and amazing. So that's the keys right there. Did you guys get those? Awesome. Sweet. What do you guys think of this podcast, vlog, whatever you want to call this? Was it awesome? Did you like it? Sweet. All right. So here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to finish this up. I'm going to wrap it up right now. Are you ready? Wrap it up. Tie it up, put a little bow on it, make it look all pretty for you guys. So I just give you the outline of it. What I'm going to say is if you want to see growth in live events, if you want to see how they're done, go to live events, go to different types of live events in different areas, dissect them. Don't, like, you can take notes from the speakers, but like dissect them. I literally have hundreds of pages of notes on live events and how to host them and what to do and how I feel and what goes on with them and like how did this and why did the speaker speak here and why did the speaker speak here and what did they speak on and how did I feel when they talked and like hundreds of pages of notes over the last 3 to 5 years on that kind of stuff. Like as soon as I figured out that I wanted to do live events, I started going to them and dissecting them. And like, okay, this is what I want. This is how I'm going to do this. And then I'm going back down and I'm looking at all those live events notes and like what's sticking out in my brain and what I need to do. And I swear it's going to be awesome in a couple of years. It's going to be awesome right away, but it's going to be even better in a couple of years. So don't wait to come. Come to watch the progress. Don't just come to see it like the show finished. You want to see the progress. You can be like, oh yeah, I can do this. Right? So anyways, like come to our shows, figure it out. And they're shows. That's what they're going to be. Like, I'm just going to call them show. Like DOT doesn't have shows. We have shows. We have DOT shows. But come to them because it's going to be more about DOT. It's going to be about leadership. It's going to be about fleet. It's going to be about growing your business. It's going to be about scaling. It's going to be about building brands. It's going to be about marketing. It's going to be about everything that you need to know as a business to grow with a spin on DOT, with an emphasis on DOT, with an emphasis on, oh, you need to really have trucks if you want to come here. If you don't have trucks, we're going to convince you to buy some trucks so you can be a trucking company, right? I'm kidding. But like, that's the point of all this, okay? That's to wrap it up and put it on a bow is like, you got to figure out what you want, where you want to do it, how you want it done, and then move forward with it. And don't let that fear get in the road. Fear is going to come. Don't let it stop you. I had some lady the other day, she asked me, she's like, hey, Dan, I love the way you talk. Would you mind speaking at one of our live events? I said, I'd love to speak at your live event. It'd be absolutely awesome. But what if we co-host it? Because we've been thinking about hosting a live event there too. What if we co-hosted? What if we worked it together? We made it 2 days and you do day one and I do day two. And she's like, a 2-day event? Ooh, that would be awesome. And I was like, how many people did you have come last year? She's like, 75. I was like, did you advertise? Did you try? Did you get anybody else there other than your customers? She's like, no, they were just our customers. We said word of mouth, we had about 75 people show up. I was like, that is awesome. How can we make it better? And she's like, I don't know if I want to make it better. And I said, oh, I'd be happy to speak at your event. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, I should be hosting another event there 3 months later so I'm not stepping on her toes, having her speak at my event, right? And then she can advertise for my event. And I can advertise for her event, and then I'm creating affiliates and partners, and then I'll do a 2-day event that deals with DOT and leadership, and she can do hers based on her stuff, and I can speak at her event and have lots of fun with it. It'll be a blast. It'll be awesome, and people will love it. Love it, right? But my point is like, you've got to figure out what you want to do, how you want to do it, where you want to do it, who you want to show up, all that stuff, okay? Once you figure out that, then you're good to go. So I know that this podcast has been like a winding road through the mountain and we didn't know which way we were going. And you're probably like, oh my gosh, Dan, how did you I'm so lost. Anyways, my point is like, here's the thing. If you liked this podcast, subscribe, like it, share it, move on. If you didn't like it, what the heck are you still doing here? You ready for the thing? I just gave it to you. I'm going to give it to you one more time. You ready? Don't let fear get in the road of accomplishing what you should be accomplishing, what you've been called to accomplish. If you're called to do live events, make them happen. Move forward with it. Don't stop. Don't let it stop you. You guys getting this? Sweet. So, like I said, if you like this podcast, like it, share it, tag me, give me some love. If you didn't like it, don't waste your time with me. Get out of here. Okay? Otherwise, I just want to say thanks for joining in. I appreciate you guys. And I'm going to tell you, we're going to be opening up live events coaching in the very near future as well after I figure this out. But I got to figure it out first. As soon as I'm getting 5,000, 10,000 people in an event, guess what? We're going to start teaching you how to do it because I started with shows. Nobody shows up. 2 people at a very big minimum.